And an investment firm, Investcorp, has predicted a depreciation of the cedi by 15% this year. Last year, the cedi depreciated by 18.7% as against major currencies. And this, according to the investment group, means that the cedi will be selling at about 4 Ghana cedis, 50 pesos to the dollar by the end of the year. Again, the cedi lost its value by 1.7% to the US dollar in January this year and has so far depreciated by about 3 percentage points, trading at 4 Ghana cedis, 5 pesos. Investcorp, the investment firm, is also predicting that the 91-day Treasury bill will end the year at 24%. According to the group, with government over borrowing, it is unsure whether the yield on the T-bill will indeed end the year at a rate of 24%. Government borrowed some 781.91 million cedis on the domestic market alone between December 2015 and January 2016. We're joined on the line now to delve deeply into the issue. Financial expert Mohammed Kamal-deen. Good evening, sir, and thanks for your time.
Good evening.
Now, two issues here. The fact that the cedi will be depreciating. There's a prediction that the cedi is not going to do well till the end of this year. And then there is a Guta strike which has resumed. Quickly, your quick comment on these two issues before we continue.
Good evening once more to your listeners. The depreciation of the cedi which is alleged, that is based on somebody's own analysis. And it depends on so many variables to say. From a research perspective, somebody making a prediction will be using one or two variables. Depending on where you're coming from, you could agree or disagree with the person. From where I stand and look at the situation, if the physical discipline that we are trying to see, we're going to maintain within the year, if that is actually maintained, and some of the policy as we espouse within the State of the Nation's address is actually used, I think that we might not have that much of the difference as anticipated.
I see. But what indications give you this hope? I mean, you've made references to the State of the Nation's address and other indications, but is it not too, I don't want to say vague, but is it not too over-hopeful?
Yes, from somebody can say it is too over-hopeful, but from another point of view, you would think that we are saying that these are policies that the government intends to pursue within the year. That is what they are saying. And they are making and giving a strong indication that they're trying to maintain the physical discipline and they are avoiding that situation of overspending. They are avoiding that general situation where in every election year, we have our system being overrun. And if we see that that system is actually avoided, and policies and programs that we saw towards the last quarter of the year and in the second quarter of the last year, then we believe that that prediction of the 15% might not actually just be achieved. It could, yes, sway a little below 5-7%. Within that range. That's what I think. And
so let's now quickly look at the Guta issue, where Guta members went on strike, lockdown kind of, to close their shops for 3 days or so. They're returning to work, opening their shops today. Would you say that this is an effective way of protesting rising cost of doing business?
Personally, I wouldn't think that is a very effective way to do that. I believe that there is always a way to dialogue. And if you stop to close down is going to affect both government and then the union. They would definitely be losing a lot of revenue for the past 3 days. They have not worked. All the sub-unions within the main union will be losing a lot. The government will also be losing so much revenue within the 3-day period. And I think that if you do your analysis very well, starting from Monday to Wednesday, the inflows to the IRS has to do with the pots. It will tell you that the government has lost so much in terms of revenue, and this is something that we should always avoid. I believe that is dialogue, which is the way out.
Dialogue.
They are complaining about heavy taxes, huge taxes on them. This is one thing we think that maybe in future when we go in that far of introducing these things, we can involve them to some extent. Take their inputs. See how best we can meet them halfway through. If we think that we need them within our system, we cannot do without them. Yes, we need revenue. And if we need revenue, need huge sums of money to be able to run our economy. If they decide to do these things, it's going to go against us. So obviously, I would think that we should have a sort of a dialogue with them always so that we can be meeting each other halfway through. That would solve the problem some way.
Right. Thanks very much, Mr. Kamal-deen. Kamal-deen is a financial analyst. He joined us on telephone there to discuss some issues relating to tax, Guta's protest, and the prediction that the city will not be doing too well this year. He disagrees, though. He's hopeful that looking at the indications that have been given in the President's State of the Nation's address and the performance of the city so far, it doesn't look that gloomy. So let's continue. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has rejected claims that salaries of nurses on the single spine pay policy have seen a massive improvement. National President of the association, Asante Krobia, cautioned other public sector workers to stop peddling falsehood.